It's phenomenal to be in your presence. Thank you.
Likewise.
I just need some little bit of clarification. So what you're saying is, so as an example, if I say I want an abundance of money, let's say $100,000 a month, and obviously in my presence right now I'm not earning that. What you're saying is make peace with where you're at right now and focus on how good it's going to feel when that actually takes place.
Yes, but we want to clarify something here, because this is what we're really saying, which is a little hard to hear, so then we'll fill in all the missing pieces for you. What we're really saying is, in your living without the money you want and need, you are automatically all day every day asking for more. So you have a fortune amassed in vibrational escrow. You've already done step one over and over and over again. And Source, knowing that you want it and understanding your worthiness of it, is lining up circumstances and events that will lead you right to the path through which all of that can unfold for you. So step one, step two have been taken care of. Step three is you have to be in a vibrational place where you let yourself be the receiver of the impulses that will lead you to it. In other words, the inspiration and the impulses that will occur to you, the actions and the thoughts will all, when you get into vibrational alignment. So what we're really saying to you is, you ask, that's your job, and Source answers, that's our job, and you get into the allowing mode, that's your job. So the visualizing that you're talking about is that step three part. In other words, we really want to say, ask and it is given, because ask and it is given. Because when you ask, it is given. So where the hell is my stuff, you say? And we say it's in vibrational escrow waiting for you to become a vibrational match to it. So when we say make peace with where you are, can you feel how if you could soften your vibration, soften your awareness, soften your angst, not beat up on yourself so much about not having the money, that you're closer to allowing it in? So anything that you can do that gives you a sensation of relief. So let's say you've identified that you want that, and sometimes you feel kind of optimistic about it, and sometimes you just feel frustrated about it, and or worried about it, or maybe even angry about it. And you see someone who clearly has more money than they have any sensible use for, and you see them doing something frivolous with it, and you feel an inflammation of your discomfort because you want it and you don't have it, and they want it and they've got it, and so there is an exacerbation of your awareness of where you are. So in that moment, that negative emotion that you're feeling is your opportunity to try to soften that negative emotion. In other words, try to find some relief. And when you find even the slightest bit of relief, you've begun to close that gap. And so the next time it happens and you make the effort and close the gap, the next time it happens, something does, you make the effort and close the gap. With every effort where you make yourself feel a little better, you begin to teach yourself different vibrational patterns. It's not different than the scar our friend was talking about on her shoulder. Her body, all of your bodies, are renewing themselves constantly, and if you could hold a different image, that scar would not replicate. You keep doing the same thing in your life because you keep looking at things in the same way. So you have to find a different way of looking at it, you see.
So it wouldn't matter if it's monetary abundance, a relationship, a healthy body, whatever.
It doesn't matter what the subject is. Life has caused you to clarify your wanting. Source has already become that and is calling you upon the perfect path, and as you follow the calling, you've got to get there. But what's tripping almost every one of you up without exception is that you think that when Source calls you, it's supposed to sound like love and joy, and if you're in despair, it just plain doesn't. The call of Source when you're in despair sounds like anger, and you go there easily over and over again from despair or powerlessness. You have a knee-jerk response, and then those who are around you condemn you for your anger, and then you move back to powerlessness. And so you go powerless anger, powerless anger, powerless anger, where you could go powerless anger, frustration, hope, belief, knowing, having, you see. So the tools are, you make peace with where you are, which means you look at the positive aspects and you find reason to feel proud about right where you are. And then you write scenarios, you script out things about things that you want. And it's helpful, we've noticed with most, is that if you will leave the money out of the equation and you will just write scenarios of how you want to live. In other words, describe gardens that you want to have surrounding your home, and describe carpets that you want to hang on your walls or put on your floors, and describe the kinds of textures that you like surrounding you in your, and describe the kind of people that you like hanging around with, and describe the kind of things you like to do with your extra time. In other words, just write scenarios, dance all around the subject of money as you whet your appetite for the abundance that you are seeking. And what happens is, through this making peace with where you are, it will be easier for you to script like this, because if you're not making peace with where you are and you try to script like this, the script will make you mad. But if you make peace with where you are and then gently script, now the script will call you closer and closer. And what begins to happen is you begin to feel the essence of what you're reaching for. And the universe, the universal law of attraction, which is always responding to the vibration of your being, does not know whether you've already got that financial means or whether you're just offering a vibration that matches it. The universe doesn't know if you have it or if you're just visualizing having it. The emitting of the vibration is what you're shooting for, you see.
So it would be the same if you were looking for a mate and you have someone that you're seeing, but they maybe live 100 miles away from you, and your reality is, well, as an example, that I'm dating someone, and reality is he doesn't live in even the same town, but I just keep focusing on that at some point.
Well, here's a rule of thumb, because this is the delicate line that you're walking all the time. If you get really specific enough that you activate your awareness that it's not where you want it to be, it's counterproductive visualization. If you visualize generally enough to just make yourself feel happier, it's very productive visualization. So sometimes, in other words, you might light upon a part of that relationship where you're playing it over in your mind, and it's actually like watching a really good television program that's really satisfying. And on another time, you might focus on that same relationship and it might give you a heartache. And so what you've got to do is be aware of what you're focusing upon, of how what you're focusing upon is affecting you. The name of this game is closing the gap. In other words, my life has caused the largest part of me to become this. And you know what that is? That's abundance, with more money than anybody that you know currently has. It's abundance of relationships that are so satisfying that when you get together, you just go to higher and higher places. It's a feeling body that is so vital and alive that you just wake up glad to be in it and glad to be alive. In other words, the abundance that is waiting for you in vibrational escrow, as you tune yourself up to it, thought by thought, story by story, process by process, as you close that gap, you come into vibrational alignment with so many of the things that have been in vibrational escrow. But you'll just get a new vantage point with a new set of contrasts, which will cause you to launch some more, because after all, you are eternal. And so we don't ever want to give you the impression that we are coaching you because we want you to achieve those manifestations, because the achieving of the manifestation for you is not our goal. It's a given, it'll come anyway. It's the achievement of a conscious working knowledge of how to keep myself feeling really, really good. That's our goal, because when you discover that you can control the way you feel, then you've discovered that you can control your vibrational output. And when you can control your vibrational output, you can control every manifestation in the world, but there will always be another and another.
Isn't it a matter of also catching yourself when you're in the anger, despair, revenge?
Oh yeah, but if you don't worry, it will get bigger. In other words, there will, when you've launched desires, law of attraction is causing the desires to get bigger, and when you're beating the drum, law of attraction is causing the drum that you're beating to get bigger. So the stakes just get higher and higher and higher, which means sooner or later your awareness has to come into being. Sooner or later, there's going to be a manifestation that's going to get somebody's attention, you see.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Good
Thank you.
time for a segment of refreshment. We are complete.